Inflation, the hidden tax enemy, which cons you out of your hard, well-earned cash. No wonder why the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, also agrees that fiat currency is a scam. Being kept uninformed about this matter is all part of their evil game. Welcome to StackVest Labs. Today I will be exposing the lies you have been told about money and finance. What is cash? To begin, let's clarify what cash is. Cash, also known as fiat currency, is money backed by a country's government rather than a physical commodity or financial instrument. Examples of cash include the US dollar and the British pound, both found in physical form, bank accounts, and as government bonds. The current problem with cash is that it has no intrinsic value. In other words, cash will only have value for however long the government declares them to have value and demands it to be accepted as payment. This has been the case since leaving the gold standard in 1971, when the US dollar was no longer backed by gold. The US dollar as the world reserve currency, totally abandoning the gold standard, meant all other countries' currencies followed suit. Sadly, the effects of this got so bad, cash in certain countries is seen as toilet paper, with the primary example being Venezuela, where inflation was over 350% in 2023. Why inflation is a scam. Now that we know the definition of cash on a corporate scale, let's delve into how inflation widens the wealth gap between the rich and the poor. Today, the government and central banks can literally create cash with a few keystrokes. Whenever they want to fund new spending, bailouts, or stimulus programs, they digitally conjure the money out of thin air. It's like Aladdin and the genie in real life. This process devalues existing cash through inflation and erodes purchasing power over time. When there's more dollars chasing the same amount of goods, prices inevitably rise. Your dollar today buys a lot less than what a dollar bought 50 years ago. The educational system does not teach you ways to combat inflation. Instead, they want you to keep all your cash in a bank account over a long period of time so that your savings lose value. Unfortunately, the limited pay rises over the last few decades means while goods, services, education, food, and rent keep getting more expensive, average incomes aren't keeping pace. People's purchasing power and standard of living are declining. However, the rich adapt to this phenomenon by owning assets as a hedge against inflation. Regardless of how much money you have saved, fighting against inflation is always essential. Let's say you are 25 years old and miraculously win a $1 million lottery jackpot. While it seems like all your money problems would disappear with such a windfall, inflation ruthlessly chips away at the purchasing power of your winnings year after year. Assuming an average annual inflation rate of 3%, $1 million at age 25 would only be worth around $540,000 in today's money by the time you reach age 65 and want to retire. That's almost half the value erased. This erosion accelerates if high inflation persists for years. $1 million of 40 years from now may only have the purchasing power of less than $200,000 today, enough to buy a nice car but not lasting financial freedom. Unless properly invested to grow faster than the inflation rate, lottery fortunes lose their luster for young winners as relentless inflation takes its cut each year into the distant future. Finding a good investment vehicle to outpace inflation becomes critical. This demonstrates why even those lucky enough to stumble upon a giant monetary windfall can still see it wither over a lifetime if they don't understand the insidious danger inflation poses to their wealth over the long run. Methods to hedge against inflation. Now we will be looking at ways you can use inflation to your benefit. Invest in assets like stocks, real estate, gold and cryptocurrencies to offset inflation. Stocks benefit from rising prices and can pay dividends. Gold and crypto can store value outside the banking system, and in real estate, you can take advantage of high inflation through adjustable rate mortgages with low fixed periods. Remember, this information is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, especially as all investments have some form of risk. In summary, carrying large amounts of cash long-term is a losing proposition. Fiat currencies enable reckless inflationary policies that steadily evaporate purchasing power. But we aren't helpless against this scam. With prudent investing in productive assets, we can grow our money over time rather than lose it little by little. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for more content helping you take control of your financial future.